Hi, welcome to the Tuah show. For tonight, you have Amir, Anto, and Sharad as host, and today's subject will be bloodlines and boundaries. We will discuss about these topics on Madeline Thien's simple recipes and more.
Firstly, let's talk about Madeleine Teen and who she is. For starters, she was born in Vancouver, Canada in 1974. She is the daughter of Malaysian and Chinese immigrants. Uh, that makes her family's cultural background a strong point that influences her writing. where she discuss uh, where she discuss themes of immigration, family relationship, and cultural identity. So she grew up as a part of an immigrant family in Canada. So she witnessed firsthand the generational culture and the cultural tensions that are present when her parents' traditional values met the Western influences.
So we can say she kind of talked about her own story in simple recipes.
Yes,
Okay, okay, perfect.
not saying directly that this was her, but
Mm-hmm.
as the narrator of the story has no
Well,
she doesn't have
we can't.
a name. Yes, we can guess that she is the narrator.
I can. I guess we can say that she put a bit of her life in the story. Like she, it
Yeah.
might not be her story, but let's say it's another girl's story. But she did inspire from her life and put a bit of her life in the story, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So, about this book, there was a lot of covers, so five different ones that we could find. So there's uh, this one here, this one with the little girl, this one with the fish, and this one. So let's each of us give our opinion and on the subject. So for
Well,
this one,
let's
hmm
let's just start by saying a bit about the story
yeah, yeah, sure,
itself.
yeah, yeah, sure.
So the story it's about a Malaysian family who moves from actually from Malaysia to Vancouver,
hmm
and there are two siblings, the sister and the brother. And the sister was born in Vancouver, while her brother was born in Malaysia. I think that she may be a couple of years older than him. So when they moved here, um, there was a bit of difference between cultures. So when her brother came in, he completely forgot about the culture. And her sister, she never grew in the culture. So for her, the Canadian culture was always the culture.
hmm
Yes.
And while the parents, they're so rooted to the Malaysian culture. So I'm guessing the mom's a bit more open to the Canadian culture, but her dad never opened and remained the same.
So we can say that the narrator never really experienced the culture. She just saw what her
Exactly.
fathers tried to uh,
She 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 she
transmit to her.
she learned about the Malaysian culture
Yeah,
through her father um,
yes,
while she was in the kitchen with her, like cooking recipes, watching TV shows with her dad and everything.
yes.
I'm guessing
Because
that's the
for
only way she learned about the culture, the Malaysian culture.
and that's one of the only way that the father knew how to transmit his culture to his daughter,
Exactly.
principally by cooking meals from his culture.
Exactly.
Oh, so let's talk about the cover.
So this is the first cover that I'm guessing she made for that book.
Well, would you like
So
to start with this
Or
one? Or since we talked about some cooking, would you like to start with this one?
we could talk about this one. Yes.
Okay, sure. Let's go. So in the story, we saw that the father wanted to makes the bonds with his daughter stronger by cooking and showing her the Malaysian tradition, food, everything. On this cover, we can see that there's a lot of spices, herbs, yeah, just in general. So I guess that's kind of the ingredients that they use in the kitchen while they were cooking. And
Yes.
the fish has many signification throughout the story, from the beginning to the end. And
Yeah.
based on this image, I guess we all have our opinion about what it could mean.
Yes.
Well,
For me,
first of all,
uh,
oh, wait, I'll let you start. I'll let you start.
okay, thank you. For me, the fish, as we saw in the story, at one time, the daughter she, said that her dad was like a fish out of the water.
Hmm. Yeah.
So I think we can say that the fish in the on the cover is her dad, maybe, because he looks kind of not dead, but he looks,
Yeah, he said.
yes, the fish is dead, but he's kind of weird. He's not in his natural environment. So we can compare this to the dad who moved the country and he experiences a lot of change in the culture.
Yeah. So what about you, Sharad?
So for me, um, I'm guessing she by that picture, what she meant, she was showing the cultural differences between Malaysia and Canada.
Hmm.
As we know, what most dishes in Canada, when you get served fish, you never get the whole fish itself.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's true.
yeah.
Like if you think about it, it's mostly like a small fillet or something. But over here,
Yes.
the way she cooked the fish, it was a whole thing. So I'm guessing that's like the head was there, and I don't know if you remember in the story, um, the kid actually disliked the fact that the fish had the whole head, like the
Mm,
eye was there.
yeah.
So I'm guessing it was a way of showing that there's some cultural differences in between the way cooking those fishes.
Yes.
So I'm
Because
guessing that's what she tried to represent in the picture.
yeah, because the son didn't like that the fish had his head,
Exactly.
but that was in the Malaysian and Chinese culture, I guess. So
Yes.
it's almost like he just doesn't like the culture at all. He finds it weird.
Yeah,
And
it could be.
Exactly. I'm guessing it could be the fact that maybe one time um, when he went to school, her mother packed this fish in his lunchbox, and when he showed up to school, kid might bully him
Yeah, they made fun of him.
because of the appearance of the fish or something.
Hmm.
mm,
I mean, it could
So,
be
what do you
like,
think, Amir, about this?
I think it could be a metaphor. Like we said, the boy didn't like that the fish had his whole head, and I guess we could say that the son doesn't like a bit of the Malaysian culture,
mm,
and the metaphor is that he doesn't like the way the fish is cooked, just like he doesn't like some of his dad's um, habits from Malaysia. And that's the link that I found it between the image and the relationship.
mm.
Yeah,
I
great.
think we can go onto another cover.
Okay, let's go with this one. Okay. So who would you like to start?
Um, uh,
I can start.
all right.
Yeah, that's okay for you. Uh,
Yeah, that's
Perfect. For me,
Hmm.
the the many fishes
Yeah.
represent a sort of bond between the father and his kids.
Hmm.
Right? While talking about the culture, like for me, the father will be the fish on the top.
Yeah, the big fish.
Yes.
Hmm.
After on the left, that would be the daughter
Okay.
on the left, and the one down would be the son, because the culture starts from the father, and
Hmm.
he teaches a lot. he teaches it a little bit to the daughter who accept it in a way. She doesn't try to ignore him or just she wants to learn about the culture a little bit.
Yeah.
And at the end, the most faded fish,
Mm.
this is the son because he just doesn't care about the culture. So he's not as I
Yeah,
forgot,
he's not
but
thinking.
as
Yeah. This one is lighter
yeah,
and this one is darker.
yeah, that's it.
Yeah, well, while talking about that, interesting. Well, what I thought is, um, I almost had the same thinking as him. Well, I thought the fish number one was a bit darker because it represents the Malaysian culture itself. Like the dad who
Yeah.
was fully Malaysian and
Yes,
he knew about all the culture and everything. While number three
Yeah.
represents his kid, which is the culture itself in him is slowly disappearing inside.
Yeah.
So that way it's a bit more transparent.
Yeah, it's fading away.
Exactly.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
While number two and three, I'm guessing it could be that like the daughter and the mom. Well, they both have a bit of interest in the culture,
Yeah.
but
mm,
it's like the Canadian. It's like the Canadian and well, how do I say that? Um,
I mean, they're
they're
not
starting to they're
like,
starting to accept the Canadian culture.
yeah,
While the
I
dad
get it.
and
The
like
culture is okay with them.
exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get it.
I would like to add that the third fish is facing the opposite direction than the
Yeah.
others. Like the number two is following the father fish, then the number one, but the
Oh,
third is facing the opposite direction. So that shows that he wants to take another path.
mm-hmm.
So have another culture, which is the Canadian culture. But,
Yeah, it
yeah.
makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Also, I think we can say that the cover is simple, yet it is kind of deep because the fish may symbolize how ordinary things can hold a deeper meanings,
Meaning
like like a conflicts, heritage, and love. All these things.
true.
That's it. It may symbolize many other things
That's true. That's
while
true.
being really simple.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, there's a lot you can pull out of this picture, but I think the main idea is that it represents like the family and other things that come with it. So like
Yeah.
culture, everything.
Yes.
So we can go to the next one.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, perfect.
I can start. As I said earlier, the fish again may represent the father because one time in the text, the narrator talked about the fish left for dead in the sink.
Mm-hmm.
So it has a direct link to the story.
So
Uh,
you're saying that the fish represents the father, right?
yes, like I said earlier, just
Yeah.
more
Uh,
clearly.
but I felt like the fish represented the Malaysian culture itself. Because like they said in the text, they said somewhere in my memory, a fish is slowly dying. My
Oh,
father and I watched as the water runs
okay.
down. So I felt like the daughter and the dad, when they were watching the fish dying, it felt like the dad saw the Malaysian culture and his kid slowly dying.
So maybe the sink is the death of the culture. So the
Exactly.
fish try. So the fish is swimming his hardest to not make it happen and not go in the sink. So he's trying his best to not lose the
Exactly.
culture. Mm, yes, that's
Like when
good.
they said in the text, they said the fish was flopping in the sink. I'm guessing the fish tried itself as the culture. The dad did the most he could with his kid.
Yeah,
He taught them how to cook. He even tried to help them learn the language, but none of them tried a bit to learn
yes.
about the culture.
I mean,
He tried his best, but while doing
Exactly.
that, he's held down by his family in a way,
Exactly.
which would be the water running down the sink.
yeah.
Exactly.
Since we said the dad is the fish that gets out of the water, we can clearly say that this representation is the illustration of the sentence that was in the text, because I don't have anything else that could represent this. Like Sharad, you said the Malaysian culture that is slowly dying, but
Mhm.
except this one and the dad, I don't have any other ideas about this cover.
Exactly. I think we might have brought the two main ideas out of the picture, and
Yeah,
which came out of the picture.
Mm.
yeah, I
So I'm
get it.
guessing we
I
could move to the next picture and
no,
Yeah,
I have
oh,
something to add.
never mind.
I I think we can say that the cover may represent the conflict because the fish is so close to the train. This shows a contrast, a
mm,
big contrast between the loss of culture and the dad trying his best. So this shows that there's a thin line between the two subject, we can say, I think.
okay. Yeah, okay, okay, I'll get it.
I
Yeah.
think that's all.
I think it was. Oh, okay, this one.
So for this one, I'm not gonna lie, it didn't really talk to me, the picture. So I
Yeah.
might need your help a bit to understand more about this picture.
The thing is that I can't really make a link from the story with this picture. We can say like maybe it's the daughter when she was younger, like when she was small and they came to Canada.
Yes.
But beside this and maybe like a picture of the author when she was small, I don't know what else this could mean.
The only thing this picture talks to me, it's maybe the point of view of the daughter in the whole story.
Yeah.
It might be like her point of view, which is the picture like showing that how she grew up to the till when she was in college, when she moved out. I'm guessing that
Mm.
could be how the author tried to represent the image on the book. But more
Uh,
than that, I couldn't have any more guesses on this.
Yeah.
Me neither. I don't have any guesses, but except for one thing. For one thing, I think the child's ep- expression shows a feeling of uneasiness.
Mm-hmm.
So this may represent the daughter in the story, which she because she doesn't know a lot about the culture. It's a little bit harder for her to learn. But she also looked a little bit curious.
Or we can say that
So that
in this
yeah,
whole situation, she was like, yeah, she was like a child because she could not do
yeah,
anything but like watch the whole situation going down.
mm,
Like
mm,
when you said she was a bit worried, I'm guessing it could be about the fact that when her dad hit her brother with bamboo stick,
oh
and
yes,
when she was in the room, she saw that. Well, she heard her brother screaming. I'm guessing that was her face expression while
uh,
she saw him later the next day, actually on breakfast when he was in pain. That could be her face expression.
mm,
Yeah, it makes
yes.
sense.
Maybe she's scared to. not listen to her dad because she's scared that he will hit her like he did to her brother. So maybe she wants to learn the culture, but she also wants to learn the Canadian culture. So she's like in a the dilemma, I
Hmm.
think,
Yeah.
Yeah,
because I don't want to say that she's forced to learn the culture, but maybe that would be it because she's scared to not do it.
I mean, she's showing some interest since she wants to know, like, to learn how to cook with her dad. So I don't think she's forced. She has some kind of interest into it.
Uh, or maybe it is just a representation of the daughter with no special meaning or anything.
So let's go to the next one, which is this one.
yes.
Uh,
So who want to start with this one? This one's quite interesting, actually.
yeah. Uh, how do we say
Can start with
cerf-volant?
kite.
I forgot.
It's a kite.
Kite,
What?
Kite.
kite.
Kite. Oh, okay, okay, okay. Yes. I think the kite would represent the sun, and I think that the father, in a way, would be the one holding the kite. So
Okay.
this shows that the kite just the that the father let go of the kite because he wasn't able to teach his son the culture. So the kite just not died, but just fell down and wasn't controlled by anyone.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah.
That's actually quite interesting because I had a similar thought about this. Like the father being the one who's holding the kite,
Mm.
because it's if you see like the kite, it's usually high in the air. Like you can try holding it like how much you want it, but if there's a strong wind, as like the Canadian culture, like maybe
Yes.
the kid's bullying the kid and everything, it's gonna cut and go away.
Yeah.
And if
So the
even if the
the
try if the dad tries to hold the kite, it's gonna blow away and then sometime like I don't know.
yeah, because sometimes maybe the environment, which would be the winds, are stronger than the one who's holding the kite.
Exactly.
Yeah. Hmm. And you, Amir?
I have a parallel opinion about the other covers. So we said that the fish would be like the dad, the fish out of the water would be the dad, and we can see behind the kite there's it's like a beach, I think, and
Oh,
maybe the ocean would be something related to his family, his dad, or the Malaysian culture, which because it contains fish, and
mm.
the kite, which would be the sun, is not a part of them. It's out of the water and it's going on its own, like
That's
out.
actually interesting.
Yes.
That's
It's still
quite interesting.
close. It is close to the ocean, but
Hmm.
he's not in it
Yeah.
directly. Mm. Mm.
That's quite interesting. I didn't thought about that way.
Me neither, but that's good.
Oops. Oops. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry.
It's okay.
So that's the only thing that this image really evokes me. I don't have anything else because it's really abstract. There is nothing really specific related to the story. Like there was no kite through the entire story.
Uh,
So that's my guess.
mm.
That's
Do you
pretty good.
guys have anything else to add?
No, not
uh,
that I was looking for.
no, me neither.
Okay,
But
guys. So I think that's sum it up for the Talk Tuah show that we had.
yes,
So we talked
So
about Madeline Thiens, we but talked about the five different covers and the whole story. So on all of this story, did you like it?
yeah, it's pretty good. I would recommend other people, well,
mm,
other people like to read it.
Mm-hmm.
It
Mm.
could maybe help people understand maybe um,
The
the struggle
change of
between
culture.
kids
But
and dads just trying to learn about a new culture.
Yeah.
mm, me, personally, I don't relate to the story at all, but I find it interesting that putting this subject in a way in that comparing the subject to a recipe, just I find it really interesting, and I would recommend it too.
Okay. Personally, I also liked it because there's a lot of ways you can relate to any characters of the story. And the whole thing about moving to another country and discovering everything, since I lived that, I kind of relate a bit to the story, which is maybe one of the reason I kind of liked it a bit better, a bit over the other stories we read. But overall, it was a really interesting story, and I would definitely recommend it to a friend. Yeah.
I think that sums it up.
So thank you guys for participating and for listening tonight on the Talk to a show. We will see you in another episode of our show with some other guests, maybe we don't know. So for then, have a great night, everyone, and thank you all for listening to our show.
All right.
Good
See ya.
night.